Welcome to the Faith-Focused Free Thinking Podcast, a ministry of Ozaki Congregational Church in Grafton, Wisconsin. This is our 27th episode, and we're glad you're with us. Hello, my name is Jeff. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Faith-Focused Free Thinking Podcast. Today, we welcome back Danny Ellis to the podcast. Danny Ellis is our music director here at OCC. He's been with us for a year, and we are so glad to have him as part of the team. He leads our choir and serves as our summer pianist. He organizes our special music. He does some drama. He headed up our Christmas pageant and our lessons and carols. He contributes in just so many ways, and we're so glad to have him with us. You heard his story a couple episodes ago. We talked through his story on episode 24. You can check that out again. But today, Danny is going to lead us in a discussion and a consideration of the history of church music in America. And I think you'll find it really, really interesting. Danny is a historian, a history buff, and a music buff, and so he's going to give us some of the history of music in America, or church music in America, and then we'll get into some of the lyrics and some of the more modern stuff or whatever. So yeah, thanks, Danny, for doing it.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the history of church music in this country, because we could get bogged down going through all of church history. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is something called the Bay Psalm Book. And the Bay Psalm Book was the first book printed in British North America. It was printed in 1640. So 20 years after the Mayflower.
Oh, interesting.
And it was the only printing press for like 70 years in Massachusetts. So the Bay Psalm Book was translations of the Psalms. The whole title of it is The Whole Book of Psalms Faithfully Translated into English Meter. And it was translations in a metrical form that could then be sung to specific tunes.
Interesting.
Right. So the translations are no longer used anymore, but some of the tunes actually still survive. So, for example, the tune that we sing the doxology to is one of those tunes. I looked at the Library of Congress has a PDF of every page of their copy of the Bay Psalm Book online that you can look at.
Is that right?
It's really interesting. I encourage listeners to look it up, check it out. It is full of mistakes and typos. But there are only 11 known surviving first editions of the Bay Psalm Book, the first book printed in North America.
Is that right? Yeah.
In 2013, one of those 11 auctioned off for $14.2 million.
Is that right, eh?
Yes.
Like these were one of the copies that were printed in 1640.
Yes. So the Library of Congress has one.
Yeah.
The American Museum of Natural History has one. They have the one that was auctioned off. A private collector bought it for $14.2 million and then has loaned it to the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, yes, a really old book. What's interesting to me is that there are no tunes in the original first edition book. So these were designed to be sung to Anglican hymn tunes.
That were familiar to people.
Yes, the congregations were already familiar with. And I pulled up Psalm 23. So I'm going to read part of it so you can hear what the metrical structure is like. So they took some liberties with the translation to make it metrical. So this is Psalm 23 from the Bay Psalm Book. The Lord to me a shepherd is, want therefore shall not I. He in the folds of tender grass doth cause me down to lie.
Interesting. Yeah.
So it's a more poetic version of the psalm. But, and it's long. It's a huge book too. So no music until 1698. They produced multiple editions of the Bay Psalm book. The 1698 edition was the first to actually have tunes in the book.
Oh.
And it had 13 tunes.
Like you mean included the musical
Yes, but
nomenclature,
separately.
whatever. Oh, separately from the lyrics.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So they had all the text in the front and all the tunes, 13 tunes in the back. And so whoever the song leader was, they'd say, we're going to sing this text and we're going to use this tune. So
Interesting.
there are different meters, so you can only sing some psalms had to go with specific tunes in order to fit the meter correctly.
Yeah. Wait, and for people unfamiliar with music, explain what you mean by meter, different meters.
Sure. So meter, in this case, refers to number of syllables per line.
Oh, okay.
And I believe, I haven't checked in our hymnal, a lot of hymnals have a metrical index in the back, and it'll have the rhyme structure of the text.
Okay.
And then you can actually take a specific text and change the tune you want to sing to it if you just find one that has the same number of same meter to it.
Okay.
Which is an important and interesting fact about American church music. We're so used to the marriage of text and tune
Yeah.
that you could get up in church and you say, we're going to sing Amazing Grace, and everyone's going to start singing the same tune.
Yeah.
That's not how it was.
Interesting. Yeah.
We're going to get to Amazing Grace later on, but for the longest time, it was like I said, the song leader's going to say, okay, we're going to do this text, and today we're going to use this tune, and next week we might use a different tune.
Oh, interesting.
As long as they match meter-wise, we can mix and match the text and tune.
Yeah.
It wasn't until much later in church music history that specific tunes became strongly associated with specific texts.
Interesting. And again, they could do that. Most people at that time couldn't read music, I imagine.
Well, that's another thing we want to talk about.
Okay.
So, in Europe, pre-1620, or whenever the colonial people came to America. So while they were living in Europe, before they came over, most middle class, upper class families were very musically literate. There was a piano in every home. Daughters had to learn to play piano as part of their social education. So churches in England were regularly singing 4-part harmony.
Oh.
And one of the cycles that tends to happen in church music history is this cycle of music literacy and music illiteracy, and it comes around and comes around. So we have periods of music literacy and then illiteracy. And right now we're in the cycle of illiteracy.
Oh.
I hope our listeners don't take offense to that. I'll explain what I mean. So, Europe, musical literacy. They come over to this country, and the thing about colonial life is it's hard. Just existing is a struggle. They don't have the time that they had when they were living in Europe. They're spending all day trying to meet their needs, fighting the land, the wild animals, all of that stuff. So, not too long after getting to this country, one generation, maybe two at the most, we're losing music literacy.
Oh, yeah.
So these tunes that are in the back of the Bay Psalm book, it's just melody. You're not getting 4-part harmony.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So that continues for a while until a man named William Billings. Not familiar?
I'm not familiar with that name, no.
He is considered to be the first American choral composer, born in 1746. So we're 100 years after the first printing of the Bay Psalm book.
Oh, sure.
He was in New England area. He was a reformer in church music and an advocate for music education. And he taught what are known as singing schools.
Oh.
So I'm sure you've heard of the itinerant preachers that went around town to town.
Yes.
Similarly, church musicians would do the same thing. They would go from town to town and they'd hold a singing school for a week or whatever, and they would teach music. And one of the ways that they did that was through shape notes.
Oh. Shape notes meaning?
Are you familiar with? Well, I should explain this. Solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Everyone's seen Sound of Music, right?
Yeah,
Do,
Sound of Music.
do,
Yeah.
right. So solfege is a system of teaching pitches to singers. So where they know, like the first step is do, and then re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Well, shape notes is a similar method, but it uses each scale step. Each do, re, mi has a different shape for the note head. So
Okay.
we're used to all circles for the notes. If you look at the notes in music, they're all circles.
Right, yeah.
And so in this, they're triangles. There are different orientations of the triangles. There's a diamond, that stuff. And the shape of the note tells you the pitch that you're supposed to sing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That spread all the way from New England down to the South. And so then we get to, I have a story to tell you
Okay.
about two gentlemen, William Walker, who was also known as Singin' Billy Walker, and Benjamin Franklin White. These two gentlemen lived in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and they married two sisters.
Okay.
So they became brother-in-laws through marriage. These two gentlemen were musicians, and they went up into the Appalachian Mountains to collect folk church music.
Oh.
So in the Appalachian Mountains at this time, so we're talking 1830s, there's a lot of oral tradition, not a lot of literacy, not a lot of stuff written down, just taught by singing it.
Yeah.
Each generation learns it that way. So they wanted to do a collection of these hymns and tunes that were being sung in the Appalachian Mountains. So I forget how long they spent. They spent months, year, up in the Appalachian Mountains, just going around from little church to little church, collecting music and hymn texts and hymn tunes. They finish their work, they come back, and then William Walker, goes up to Philadelphia to have it published. And Benjamin Franklin White stays back home. So William Walker goes up to Philadelphia, he gets it published, and he comes back, and it's called Southern Harmony. And they open the page, and it says, by William Walker.
Oh.
He leaves his brother-in-law out.
Oh, shoot.
So Benjamin Franklin White goes back to the Appalachian Mountains, repeats a lot of the work, and then creates his own called The Sacred Harp.
Oh.
Published 5 years after Southern Harmony. Now, both of these books are still in existence today. However, by far the more popular one is The Sacred Harp.
Oh, really?
So you could say that Benjamin Franklin White was rewarded, or William Walker was punished for his treachery.
Right.
So they still have these, and these are both shape note hymnals.
Oh, okay.
You can still go to country churches in the South, and they have shape note singings.
Really?
I have never been to one, but it is on my bucket list of things to do. And they're 4-part. Every part sits on a side of a square. So we have a square with one part on each side of the square, facing each other in the middle.
Okay.
The song leader stands in the middle. Southern Harmony is the first printed pairing of Amazing Grace and the tune that we now sing it to, which was called New Britain at that time.
Oh, okay.
Amazing Grace. That's the tune, New Britain.
Interesting.
So that's where the tradition of pairing those two comes from.
Okay.
I looked in our hymnal, and it doesn't list Amazing Grace because it's such a well-known thing that people just know it. But there is an index of sources for the tunes, and there's 4 in there from Southern Harmony in our hymnal.
Oh, okay.
So
which was you said that the less popular of
it is the less popular.
Yeah.
They are also in Sacred Heart, but because Southern Harmony was published first, it does get the credit in our hymnal.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
So Sacred Heart came second. It also has Amazing Grace paired with that tune, but Southern Harmony gets the publishing credit.
I
So
see. I see. Yeah. Yeah.
the other one that I looked at all four. A couple of them I wasn't familiar with, but the other one I did know was "My Shepherd will supply my need"
Oh, okay.
in our hymnal.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Their "Wondrous Love." What wondrous love is this? You know that one?
I don't know if I do. Oh, my soul.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Though I don't. It's not. I don't think it's in our hymnal. But brethren, we have met to worship.
I know that tune, but not the not the
Sure. That's the thing where like us coming from different church backgrounds and us, the two of us not growing up in congregationalism,
Right.
we are used to specific tunes and specific texts,
Yeah.
and they're different probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I remember it was probably in like the 90s. It might have started earlier, but I wasn't aware of it. But I know it for sure in the 90s, choral composers started taking well-loved texts and setting them to new tunes.
Oh, yes. Sure.
That's when I became aware of it. And there was a lot of pushback from certain people. Not that they thought it was wrong. It's just like, why are we doing this? This is tradition. We always sing Amazing Grace to this tune.
Right. Right.
But historically, like I said, that's not really the case.
Yeah. Yeah. No, which is interesting. Yep.
Okay. So that tradition of shape notes, even though we don't use it, it has impacted our hymnals. Like I said, there's hymns in our hymnal that are directly from Southern Harmony and Sacred Heart.
Yeah. Interesting.
The other big influence. Oh, sorry. Did you have a question?
No. This was again. Southern Harmony was
1835,
1835.
and Sacred Harp was 1840.
Okay. And maybe you're going to get into this, but like, is this like when we think of hymns by like Fanny Crosby or that's all before that? I'm showing my ignorance here, but like,
I don't remember the timeline of Fanny Crosby, but I would say it's a different vein of music.
okay.
Like, so the history of the people that immigrated to the Appalachian Mountains is foggy to me, but I want to say Irish, Scottish influence.
Yes. Okay.
Right? Once here, the Appalachian community was a very isolated community.
So they're developing
Yes.
or they're carrying some of these traditions that they've been passed down.
They've got some traditions that they brought over.
Yeah.
And then it's all developing in isolation from the rest of the church in America.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So, but then these two guys, William Walker and Benjamin Franklin White, go to the Appalachians and they bring this,
okay.
and it then becomes part of mainstream American church music.
Which is kind of developing simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in our hymnal, we've got A Mighty Fortress, which the choir did a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Which is 500 years old,
Yeah.
right? It's from
Martin
before,
Luther.
before people were even coming over here.
Yeah.
To this country. So yes, there's a tradition of church music that can be traced all the way back to Europe that are still in our hymnal. There is this line of American church music that is from Fanny Crosby and all of those hymn writers that was mainstream, and then there's this trail of music that comes directly from the Appalachian Mountains.
Interesting. Which would have been like separate from like the Bay songbook, you say.
Bay Psalm.
That was a psalm book.
Yeah.
So
it's
not
just the Psalms of the Bible.
Yes.
Translated from Hebrew into English.
Not hymns written by anybody else. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they had a huge focus on singing the Psalms.
Interesting. I feel like, because I looked up a little bit of, before we were going to talk about this today, I thought, okay, ChatGPT might give me a history of church music a little bit, and maybe it was John and Charles Wesley who were big on, we're just going to sing the Psalms. as opposed to write, and then the
Sure.
writing of own music developed maybe, or own hymns. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot. We're not going to get to
Get into all that. Yeah, sure.
everything. I'm basically giving you the church music history that I think is the most interesting.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, we've got hymns in our hymnal from the Wesleys,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
texts they wrote that were set
Yeah.
to music later. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I also wanted to talk about spirituals.
Yes, good.
I really like spirituals, and since I've been at OCC, the choir has done at least 4 or 5, and I've sung solos of spirituals. So I think it's really important. We call them Black spirituals or African American spirituals now. That is the appropriate title.
Oh, okay.
So I always like to go into this with my piano students because there's always some arrangements of spirituals that piano students end up learning. Created by Black slaves before the Civil War and some after the Civil War.
Yeah.
They are an example of a work song, which is a song that will allow you to keep a steady rhythm.
Oh.
So if you are doing a menial task, physical labor, where you want to keep a rhythm, a work song will help you with that.
Interesting. Yeah.
There's examples of them. The Erie Canal, we learned when I was in like elementary music class, was a song for the guys that were pulling the boats down the river. The long wooden poles that they'd put down into the ground. So yeah, they would sing these kind of songs as rhythmic devices to keep a steady work pace. Sea shanties are another example of work songs.
Which are
sung by pirates.
Oh, okay.
Not just pirates.
Yes,
sung on boats.
Sure.
So the spiritual has multiple functions in pre-Civil War Black slave society.
Yeah.
They function pragmatically as a work song.
Okay.
If you have to pick a certain number of bushels of cotton a day or you're going to get punished, then you want to keep that rhythm up. They also, of course, have religious themes. They are religious songs. And then third, they would code hidden messages in them. So you'll hear a lot of references to trains in spirituals.
Oh.
And that is a message about the Underground Railroad.
Sure.
You'll hear messages about crossing the River Jordan, which is a metaphor for dying and going to heaven, but it's also a coded message for crossing the Mason-Dixon line, escaping to the north. Those kinds of things. So, yes, I find them often hauntingly beautiful. I think an important part of American hymnody.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of spirituals, and I brought this up with my brother last time, was the song that comes to mind is "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Coming Forward to Carry Me Home," right? Mm-hmm. Which would have been, that was a Black spiritual, no?
Yes.
Yes? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And it's got this, that's interesting, all of those, the work songs and the rhythm that they write and the hidden meanings that they contained and all of that. And also contained this sense of hope.
Yes.
Right? For something that was beyond, or a meaning that was beyond the difficulty that they were in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So spirituals have obviously had a huge influence on our hymnal.
Yeah.
I didn't count, but there's a number of them in our
Interesting.
Hymnal.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then that takes us to, like I said, there's a lot more to it, but
yes.
Modern influences. So, I didn't look up the exact time frame, but I want to say around the 70s was when CCM started gaining traction. And when I say CCM, I mean contemporary Christian music. Right? Which is kind of a buzzword catchphrase in certain circles.
Sure.
Like if you hear the word contemporary Christian music, that could cover anything that's been written recently, right?
Yes.
But in specific circles, it is referring to a specific genre of Christian rock. right?
Yeah. Yes. Sure.
So, did you use that term growing up?
I mean, I feel like that it was that contemporary Christian music. Yes, certainly that, or modern worship music. Although I wonder if that phrase came a little later.
I think that's a little later.
I feel like contemporary Christian music. I think of Michael W. Smith or
Petra,
Petra. Yes.
Striper.
Yes. The '80s. I was never a big Striper fan. Petra, sort of.
Well, I wasn't allowed to listen to any of it.
Oh,
So.
this was had the rock beat. It was too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
I told you, I couldn't even listen to Steve Green.
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, Steve Green,
He's like elevator music. If you listen to,
Yeah,
I know
yes.
most of our listeners probably have no idea who Steve Green is.
Yes, for sure.
But it's like elevator music if there was a singer.
Yeah. Christian elevator music. Yeah.
So interestingly enough, I have a friend who's named Chris White. He lives in South Carolina. He is an independent filmmaker.
Oh.
He made a movie a few years back called Electric Jesus.
Oh.
It is on Amazon. You can rent it. It was entertaining. It is about a fictional Christian rock band trying to make it in, I think, the 80s.
Is that right?
Yes.
Interesting.
It's a fun watch if you grew up, listening to Petra and DC Talk and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Electric Jesus. if you're
Electric
interested.
Jesus. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like the term worship, modern worship, it came on a little later. And
Yeah.
now you almost always hear it as like praise band.
Yeah.
Right. And we have what we call praise band Sundays. So
Yes.
the term CCM, I don't think is really used a whole lot more. It's actually used in my world as a voice teacher to mean contemporary commercial music.
Oh.
So we use CCM in the voice world to refer to Broadway, pop, rock, anything that's not classical.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, the mainstream church music has been, I think, just in the last 30 years, heavily influenced by the CCM or modern worship.
Yes. Yes.
Right? There's churches that's all they're doing, like Hillsong.
Yes.
And
Yes.
some of those mega churches. That's all they do is praise band stuff.
Yep.
And we do once every couple of months.
Yeah. Yep.
So we have a more traditional, but we throw in some modern stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like that. I mean, 50 years ago, or call it 75 years ago. I mean, the church of the mid 50s or whatever. I mean, there were no projectors, and there were no. Of course, there was no internet or whatever. I mean, when you went to church, there was a hymn book, and you sang songs out of the hymn book, and there was a piano and there was an organ. Like this was, obviously Elvis was on the scene. There was guitar and that kind of thing, but it wasn't. The Jesus movement hadn't started, right? The contemporary Christian music, whatever, and so everybody was reading the same. I mean, you were singing the same songs every week, and there was a limited number of them, whatever were in the hymn book, right?
Yes.
And so you got very familiar with all of these songs, right?
Yes, and you reminded me to go back to my point about music literacy.
Oh yeah, yes.
So when I was growing up, we had hymnals, and the congregation sang in 4-part harmony.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned to read music vocally. As I sat next, my dad was the pastor, so my mom was usually in the nursery. So I always sat with my Sunday school teacher during the service.
Oh.
And she was an alto, and she sang the alto line in the hymnal. And so I learned to sing that alto line with her. I was like 7.
Interesting. Yeah.
And that is one of the things that I regret is the projector, the screens. I get it. I understand why we do it. It's convenient, but it is led, and it's not just our church, but churches across the country, you just don't get 4-part harmony anymore.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's that cycle of music literacy to illiteracy, and we're in the period now where, our choir is singing from the hymnal if they grab one, and they're singing their part, alto, tenor, bass, but probably most of the congregation is just singing the melody.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It just, as a music educator, it makes me sad.
Right, right. I mean, but what do you kind of make of, like now, again, it used to be just piano and organ and 4-part harmony, right? Well, now in lots of churches, it's guitar and bass and drums and maybe there's a praise choir or something, right? And I mean, it's much more, I don't know, you might say expressive or what. It's a different style of music, right? Than 4-part harmony hymns.
It is, and I like it. I also think that to an extent it takes away from corporate worship. Because in how many of those churches is it the praise band is singing, leading the worship, and then the people in the pews are just sitting there or standing there, not really singing along?
Well, no, it's a good question. I mean, I think there's probably a both and. I mean,
Sure.
I think there's lots of churches where the praise band is singing, and it is a concert type atmosphere, but the congregation is really, really engaged, and there's
Sure.
a heightened emotionalism and all of that that's part of it. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And it's less high church music, right? Songs about God, and it's more music that's directed at God, right? Or personal sort of prayer or worship from
Sure.
me to God rather than, you know what I mean? And maybe there's something good about that, and maybe there's something dangerous with that too. I don't,
Yeah, I think it's good. Obviously we here have a variety, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and I think both agree that that's a good way to go, right?
Yes, yes.
I think the danger comes in the emotionalism. So we did Oceans back over the summer with a praise band.
Yes,
Here at
yes.
LCC. The song Oceans, it's Hillsong, very popular from like 6 years ago. I think it's around when it came out, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's extremely popular.
Yeah.
Well-loved song. And I really like the song.
Yeah.
If you listen to it on YouTube, it's like 6-7 minutes long.
yeah.
And they have the bridge, and they repeat the bridge like 10-15 times, right? It's this like
Yes,
30-second section of music that they repeat over and over again. And they do that to work the crowd up into an emotional frenzy.
Yeah.
So to me, it's manipulative. It's kind of like the old Christian camp thing where you throw a stick in the fire. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yes.
So it's like, do we want emotion in our worship? Yes. But I think they're creating false emotion by using psychological methods. Like if you repeat it enough times, it's
Yes.
just like a
Yes.
mantra almost. of
Sure.
Just saying the same thing over and over again. And I just, to me, that's a little too far.
Yeah. I mean, and again, some of that, I feel like, how do we utilize the tools that God has given us, or we assume God has given us, or the tools of music or whatever, and in a way that's helpful and beneficial and encouraging and builds people up, and maybe even emotionalism is okay, you know what I mean? And I was also talking about this with my younger brother, where he's like, you'd go to church and you have this sort of great worship experience kind of thing. Right now, he would consider himself an agnostic, right? And then I go to a concert, and it'd sort of be the same experience. I'm like, well, maybe I just like music. Maybe it's not, you know what I mean? Sure. And yet maybe there's a both and there. There's a tool of music, and that somehow God is in a part of that too. And how do we not overdo it? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I remember, and I told this story at church a couple of years ago, maybe whatever. Like I used to lead the choir at the church that I was part of in Texas or whatever. And we sang one Sunday this song. You must know the song. When I think about the Lord, makes me want to shout, hallelujah. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that was a well-known song. There's a couple different versions of it. But our choir sang it. And there was a soloist that was part of it or whatever. And I'm the choir director. And I mean, it was okay, like from a musical standpoint, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I remember listening to it, like we recorded it and listening to it later, and I thought, from a musical standpoint, like, I think when I told the story here, I just said it wasn't that good. Like, it was okay. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it just produced on that Sunday just such a response from the congregation who was just listening. The congregation wasn't participating. It wasn't a worship song. It was, you know what I mean? And like afterwards, people were just like, that was so amazing. You know what I mean? And like somebody who was visiting, and I don't know if not a Christian or whatever, like, you know, ended up talking to the senior pastor afterwards, like, you just got to bottle that up, whatever it is, you know? And I mean, like, I thought there's something more there than just the emotionalism. Like, I think it was good because God wanted it to be good. I don't have a better explanation for it. You know what I mean? And so anyways, I don't know. I throw that and say, yeah.
I should be clear that I am not opposed to emotion.
Yeah, sure.
So I know that every time I sing at OCC, there's one or two church members who are going to start crying.
Yes.
I'm not going to call them out by name on the podcast, but you know who you are.
Yes.
So and I think that's great. And yeah, I obviously we have to have emotion as part of the human experience, and it should be a part of worship.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's more like that whole concept of just repeating the same thing over and over again to create. I think that's manufactured emotion.
No, I think there's, and certainly that's true.
Happening naturally.
Yeah. No, I think that's something to think about. And I remember too. We were on a mission trip in Honduras one time, and I think we were at an Assemblies of God church, and they were singing whatever, and much more expressive.
Sure.
And sort of emotional than we were used to in the Baptist church that I was a part of, and it was great, whatever. But I remember one guy from our church saying to me afterwards, like, what are we doing at our church? Like, felt like our church was so dead then compared to this sort of real emotional worship experience, whatever. And I was like, no, it's great. I mean, this is how they do it here, and that's okay, right? And that we do it differently, like, would we say that these people at this church, that they better demonstrate the fruit of the Spirit, from week to week, that they better follow God and care for one another in their community than we do because they have this emotional worship experience, right? I mean, like, again, at that time it was, hey, I think our relationship with God, which, I know we think of that differently today than we did 10 years ago or 20 years ago, whatever, but is more than this worship experience, whatever that is, Anyways, yeah.
We had I don't remember when it was, back in May, where we had that combined music service with
yes,
the Missionary Baptist. I forget the name of the
Zion Hill Missionary.
Hill.
Yeah,
and it was awesome.
Yeah,
right, and it's a completely different style of worship. And I think if we tried to recreate that, it would be artificial and it wouldn't work.
Yes, right? Yes.
So yeah, there's a place for all of it. We do what works for us.
Yes, and we try to examine ourselves and try to do things honestly, right, and purity of heart and motivation, right, in all that we do, and we hope we assume the best of others too, and that they attempt to use the tools in the best way, even these churches where it seems that emotionalism is a little overdone or whatever. Maybe everybody's trying to do their best too. I must have told you this too. I don't know, but on the point of if we tried to do that or be different than we were, like, you just can't be different than you are, right?
I think it would turn people off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would be very obvious that it wasn't natural and it's not something we should try and do.
Yes. Well, that was we when I was leading the choir in Texas. And one time we did some song, and I don't know if it was a spiritual whatever, but it sort of just swayed a little bit, And sure. I said, let's try and sway. So we were going to sway and snap, or whatever. And in the process, I told the story of one African pastor who said that the saddest thing he ever saw was a group of his people standing stark still, singing praises to their God, right? And that old guy in the back of our choir in Texas, he was like, when we try to do this sway, somebody's going to say the saddest thing I ever saw. It's a group of white people trying to sway. So, point well taken. Point well taken. Yeah, yeah. No. It's interesting. All that's good. Well, I mean, I think the balance and the collection of stuff that we have here and that you've done here and the things that you've brought, I think have been great.
Well, thank you.
And it's been, a lot of fun. And
I'm having fun.
A good mix. Yeah, the Beatles Sunday was great. And well, I mean, the other aspect of music, I think, and worship music and I mean, hymns and all of that is just the theology it contains, right? Or the message that it communicates. And maybe there's a time and a place where some songs were really meaningful and maybe they're not as meaningful as they used to be. Or maybe we need to think of them differently now. Sure. And maybe they were okay at their time, right? And I'm just jumping into this. Just if there's something else, you
go for it.
Cut me off or whatever. But I think of the Battle Hymn of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, right? Mm-hmm. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed his fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. Like this really militaristic image of God and the truth of God marching on. And I think that was a really popular song during the Civil War and with the Union Army. And
yes.
Right. And so maybe at that time they needed the inspiration of more military imagery in the worship and the triumph of truth and whatever. Today I feels like I don't know that imagery is helpful maybe or is the best for our churches, where it's like, the world, yes, is a dark and evil place and our country is going down the tubes and it's our job to win it back, by all means for God, whatever, we mean by that. And I don't know that it's produced the best.
Onward Christian soldiers.
Onward Christian soldiers, yes.
Which, it's you say there might have been a time where that felt more appropriate. Obviously, the circles we grew up in, we sang those growing up.
Yes.
But theologically, it's not even accurate. Christ told Peter to put his sword down.
Right. Sure.
It's. I mean, I know there's the whole imagery of put on the whole armor of God.
Yes.
The breastplate of righteousness, all that, but this concept of we're going out as soldiers. I always took the armor of God as more of a defensive,
yes,
guard yourself. But
right.
But yes, these hymns are definitely a little more offensive.
Yes.
And we're going out in the world to conquer it for God.
Right. I mean, you just get images of they're, again, very militaristic, the images of the Crusades, right?
Yes.
To conquer right? And we would all be embarrassed that the Crusades are in Christian history, right? Sure. And that this was No, that's, but so I just think we really got to think carefully of what message we're communicating. And I mean, the other thing I think of too is, there's just a real desire to have perfect theology in music. And I think, Chris Tomlin, before he published any song or publishes any song, he runs it by, he's got 5 or half a dozen theologians that he says, is this right? And I'm less concerned about that, less concerned of being perfect theology in our music, and yet concerned with what's the message that it's communicating, right? But I remember thinking about that related to the hymn "To God Be the Glory." It was always one of my favorite hymns,
Very rousing number.
A rousing number, yes. And I thought it articulated, at least at that time, it articulated the Christian message so well in my substitutionary atonement theology. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's familiar with that, but we sang it. The last line, I think maybe the last verse says, "And open the life gate that all may go in." And then I went to a Presbyterian church, and Presbyterians, they have a doctrine of predestination, that people are predestined to be saved, and other people are not predestined to be saved or are predestined to be damned. So only particular people are in, so to speak. So we sang "To God Be the Glory" at this Presbyterian church. We got to that line, and it was, "And open the life gates that we may go in." That we may go in.
I pulled it up. The line before is, "Who yielded his life an atonement for sin."
Yes, who yielded his life an atonement for sin, and opened the life gate that we may go in, the Presbyterians sing, right?
The second verse, "O perfect redemption, the purchase of blood, to every believer the promise of God. The vilest offender who truly believes, that moment from Jesus a pardon receives."
Yes, yes. I mean, beautiful song, and I really like that. And here's the vilest offender, right? But I struggle with that phrase, "truly believes," or "truly." Anytime you use the word "truly," we don't know. I don't know myself well enough to say I have truly believed. So, anyways, just what is communicated in
the other one is "Nothing but the blood of Jesus."
Oh, yes.
I'm guessing it's not in our hymnal, but
Our hymnal tends to be more high church music,
Sure.
less music about the blood and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So when I was choir director at Bayshore Lutheran in Whitefish Bay, I was there for about 10 years. Early on in my time there, my dad made a visit to Milwaukee
Oh.
and attended my church.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I was very surprised. We had a female pastor at the time. And we got there, we're sitting in the pew. My choir wasn't singing that day, so I was just sitting in the pew with my dad and his wife. And he's flipping through the hymnal, and after a while he goes, "They took out all the hymns about the blood." So, what is your, I don't know if this is what is your determining factor for not using a hymn? Like if it has what you would consider problematic theology, is there a line, like certain things you would let go and say there's some use to the hymn, or?
It's a great question. That's a great question. Like, I don't, I'm not all that concerned in terms of the message it communicates. I mean, here I know I've just said that I was concerned, right? I mean, at least I noticed it, this "To God Be the Glory" or the Battle Hymn of the Republic or whatever, you know what I mean? And yet there's, like, even the Battle Hymn of the Republic, we've sung it here. It's been a couple of years or whatever, but it's just familiar to people, and the tune of it, and it's less we take from it, at least in our context, a particular militaristic message, as much as we take the familiarity of it.
Sure.
Right? And somehow that we all sing it together and we all know it, and it's this rousing song. It's, there's something good about that, the familiarity of the music. So, I mean, I guess if there were songs that were very explicitly saying something I didn't agree with, maybe we'd leave those out, I suppose. But I don't know that what I most want is music that is familiar and uplifting to people, and yeah.
Well, I have to make these decisions too when I'm looking for choir music or praise band stuff. So there's a song by Phil Wickham that I really like, but I'm not going to use it. It's called "The King Is in the Room."
Oh, okay.
Have you heard that one?
No.
It's got, to me, some problematic theology in it regarding salvation and some other stuff. So I really like the song. It's really catchy. It's like upbeat. It's like gets you charged up, but I don't want to use it.
Interesting. Well, and I wonder if our congregation knew that song the way they know the Battle Hymn of the Republic or some other well-known hymn, would we sort of just pass over the theology?
Yes, you know what I mean? I think so, because it's kind of subtle.
Yeah.
it's something that I don't think the average listener would pick up on.
Sure.
But since it's not known, I don't want to make it known.
Yeah. Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Like, we're stuck with some of these because we've been doing them for hundreds
Yes.
of years.
Yes.
So let's not introduce new ones.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
There's plenty of good stuff out there that I don't have a problem with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's interesting, like even songs, I mean, Amazing Grace, right? Which you'd say everybody knows that song inside of the church or out, right? It's so, I mean, even movies use it, all of this, right? But like, I don't like it as much as I used to. You know, I don't like that line, that saved a wretch like me. Like just sort of this self-condemnation, considering ourselves wretches. I think we could think of that better. Now, maybe John Newton really felt that of himself, you know what I mean? But like...
Yeah, with his background, I could see where it's like, because he was a slaver.
Yes, yes.
So I could see where he writing the poem wasn't necessarily speaking for all of Christianity. He was saying,
yes.
I personally was a horrible person and God saved me.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think we can explain that one away.
Yeah. But we take it as, I mean, that's
sure.
Total depravity, right, is Christian theology. You are a dirty, rotten sinner kind of thing, and it's only God who's...
One of the 5 points of Calvinism.
Right. Yes.
I love When Peace Like a River.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the actual title, is it?
It is well with my soul.
It is well, thank you.
Yes.
But even the one stanza is, the trump shall resound and the Lord shall descend. That's, rapture theology that I used to believe in, and I no longer, I don't, it's not taught in the Bible, so.
Yeah.
But I use that hymn because, I mean, you have to.
Right, it's so well known, right? And it gives people such a good feeling because it is so well known,
You just maybe leave out that verse.
Yeah. Or, I mean, we sing it and know that this is whatever, just a metaphor. We could take it as whatever, Yeah. No, it's interesting. The sort of rapture theology you had listed in here, like I'll fly away, some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away. We take from it what's the good feeling it gives us, rather than particular theology.
So we're okay with a little bit of problematic theology, especially if there's some redeeming factor about the song.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
Safe to say that.
Yes. I mean, same as, you've got the songs that are overly sentimental, right? And people love In the Garden. I come to the garden alone, and right, it's this.
It's not my favorite.
No, it's not my favorite either, but there's some people that love it. And I mean, if we have a hymn sing here, somebody will request it, and we take from it what's the good feeling it gives us. It's interesting though, like thinking of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and again, maybe it had significance that was helpful and I don't know, necessary during the Civil War, that kind of imagery as a part of faith, was helpful. I don't know, but maybe now we're at a time where we need to shy away from that, and we need to focus on the peace of God and the like you say, hey, this is not biblical, the call to come conquer the world. It's to come and give your life. He doesn't lay down your life or if anyone come after me, deny themselves, take up their cross and follow me, right? I mean, this is the idea. Well, so Audrey Assad rewrote the lyrics to the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Have you heard their song?
I have not.
Okay. And she titles it, Your Peace Will Make Us One. And she's what would you call her? A Christian adjacent artist, something like that, influenced, but as, looking at faith in a new way. So she writes, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. You are speaking truth to power. You are laying down our swords, replanting every vineyard till a brand new wine is poured. Your peace will make us one. Nice imagery there. Mm-hmm. I've seen you in our home fires burning with a quiet light. The Battle Hymn of the Republic is, I've seen him in the watchfires of 100 circling camps. Here we go. She says, you are mothering and feeding in the, I'll start it again. I've seen you in our home fires burning with a quiet light. You are mothering and feeding in the wee hours of the night. Your gentle love is patient. You will never fade or tire. Your peace will make us one. And then still the same refrain, glory, glory, hallelujah, glory, glory, hallelujah. And then...
So second verse, I have seen him in the watchfires of 100 circling camps. They have builded him an altar in the evening dews and damps. I can read his righteous sentence by the dim and flaring lamps. His day is marching on.
Yeah.
The lilies one is the in the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free. Which has symbolism obviously applicable to the Union Army.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I can understand,
Sure.
how important that would have been for the Union Army.
Yes. Yep. No, that makes sense. Yep. Well, and Audrey Assad writes, in the beauty of the lilies you were born across the sea, with a glory in your bosom that is still transfiguring, dismantling our empires till each one of us is free. Your peace will make us one. So, I thought...
That's nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
But we'll have to sing those words sometimes.
Yeah. Maybe it's, again, maybe the Battle Hymn of the Republic had its time and place, and that's okay. And maybe it's good that somebody rewrites it too, So, sure. Yeah. No, it's interesting. Anything else we want to say about... Oh, well, you said something about patriotic hymns.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to go into that.
Maybe not.
That would be a discussion on American exceptionalism would be I don't have a problem with patriotic songs.
Yeah.
I don't like mixing patriotism and church. Right?
Yeah. There's a delicate balance there,
Yeah. I love the Navy hymn.
Oh, yeah.
Eternal Father.
Yes.
Strong to save. I don't know if we sing that one.
It was a favorite of our founding minister, Dick Bookman, Sandy Bookman.
Beautiful hymn.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, I wish America the Beautiful were our national anthem.
Oh, yeah.
I do not like our national anthem.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is not singable.
Yes.
And the tune was an old British drinking song.
Oh.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think America the Beautiful has a much more beautiful melody. I always notice it at the Olympics.
Yeah.
During the ceremonies, you hear these other countries' anthems. They have these just beautiful, stirring anthems, and then ours is... Yeah. It's just not pretty.
Yeah. Well, and two things I would say is, one, America the Beautiful is really a prayer for America, yes. Right? Which is we sing it here typically on 4th of July or that week or whatever. So it's this mixture of we're praying to God, acknowledging God and our need of God for our country, right? And the Battle Hymn or the Star Spangled Banner, it's tough. But Whitney Houston doing it at the Super Bowl in '92, whenever it was, or whatever. That's like they say, but that's the best time it was ever performed. And she.
I kind of like Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah.
On the guitar.
I remember that one too. Yeah. Yeah. No. Anything else?
Don't think so.
Yeah. How do you, like you say, some theology that you don't like, right, in Phil Wickham's music or whatever, But, a lot of music that we do, you feel like, maybe both you and I would not necessarily subscribe to, But again, I think just the familiarity of it, there's something good about it, you know what I mean? So maybe even though you leave this Phil Wickham song out, there'd be other music that we do sing, like you said, It Is Well With My Soul, or the trump shall resound and the Lord shall descend, right? That we sing, even though...
Yeah, I'd say there's a difference between theology that is harmful and theology that I disagree with. Yeah. Sometimes they can be the same thing. Yeah. Obviously, I would disagree with harmful theology, but not everything that I disagree with theologically is harmful, right? Yes, sure. And my interaction with that theology is probably quite different than most of our congregation. Yes. What I would consider to be harmful theology maybe not even be harmful for the average OC C person.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we talked about rapture anxiety before, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I doubt there's very many people in our congregation
Yes.
that have dealt with that in their life.
Yes.
So,
True.
So the Trump showers down and the Lord will descend is going to invoke a different reaction with me than it will probably most of our congregation.
Yes. No, it's a good point. Because a lot of the music, maybe most of the music that we have in the world is religious music, right? This is where it came from.
Yes.
And I mean, even Mozart or Johann Sebastian Bach or whatever, I mean, there's some people that really like church music or Southern gospel music, even though they wouldn't call themselves a Christian. Right?
Sure. You go back before the invention of the printing press, the majority of the music that has survived from before the printing press overwhelmingly is church music.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about like the medieval time period, similar to how we were talking about colonial life. You had the extremely wealthy, the extremely poor, and there was no middle class.
Yeah.
Life was hard.
Yeah.
You didn't have time to sit around and write music or copy music. However, the Catholic Church had monks whose entire job was to copy music by hand. Mm-hmm. That's all they did all day long, copy music. They also had monks whose job was to copy the Bible.
Sure.
Or other religious texts.
Yeah.
So the majority of music that has survived from before the invention of the printing press is church music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you study music history in a secular institution, like I did.
Yeah.
You start studying with church music. You learn the Catholic Mass. You study all of that stuff because that's all we have from that time period.
Yeah. 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 That's Steve Martin does a song called "The Atheists Have No Songs." He's like, atheists have there's no atheist hymnal, so he does this song about Christians have their hymns and pages, Bhagavad Gita something for the Jews, Baptists have the Rock of Ages, atheists just sing the blues. It's good stuff. Yeah, that was pretty good. What do you make though of like really contemporary Christian music? Like, I don't know if you know David Crowder.
Yeah.
Or the Forrest Frank is a new big one,
So I do like the contemporary stuff. I think the quality has gotten so much better. And that was, I think, the biggest complaint of a lot of the stuff in the 90s and maybe even early 2000s was it just wasn't good music.
Yeah.
And that I feel like there's people that are writing quality stuff now.
Yeah.
Like comparable to the secular versions of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I do like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Forrest Frank has been a big, deal recently. He's got, of course, a bunch of stuff that's out. And so he's got one that has a sort of a dance thing that people are doing. So Adeline and I were working on it the other day. It's good.
Are you going to put it on TikTok?
Well, no, we're not on TikTok, but maybe we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Do your kids enjoy praise music?
I mean, yeah, they don't. It's not what they listen to typically.
If they're in charge.
Yes, but like songs that they've taken from camp or, other places that they've gone or whatever, mission trip or whatever. They like, some of that. But Adeline listens mostly to Taylor Swift or some of those.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly different than, even when I grew up or you and I grew up, right? And, I mean, they don't know any of the songs that I knew growing up in church, But, I mean, now with, of course, the internet and smartphones and all of that, you feel like there's more access to music for them, which is, great in many ways or whatever. But I confess, like, my kids, they don't know any 80s Christian music, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But they can sing every word to Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're raising them right then.
There you go.
I know some of the 80s stuff, but, like I said, I wasn't allowed to listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
And so if my siblings and I were going to sneak and listen to music we weren't allowed to listen to, it wasn't going to be Christian.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I was the youngest of four, so I never had a say. It was when my oldest sister, who's 7 years older than me, got her driver's license, and we started going with her without our parents in the car.
Oh, yeah.
She would control the radio.
Oh.
And she liked 80s soft rock. So like Chicago,
Oh, yeah.
Air Supply, that kind of stuff. So that's what I listened to until she went off to college. And then my second sister was in control of the radio. Again, this is only when my parents weren't around.
Right.
And she liked country. So then I listened to country for a while. And then my brother, who's the one right above me, when he was in charge, he liked Aerosmith and the rock bands of the early 90s. So that's what I listened to then. So then I only had my senior year of high school where I could pick what I wanted.
Interesting. Well, it must have been, obviously it's Christian influence that wonders or sees the devil in secular music, right? Like, it's only Christian influence that somebody is asking AC/DC whether the name of their band stands for Antichrist, Devil's Child. You know what I mean? And they're like, no, it comes off the back of, some electric things. It's the power.
It's the two types of current, alternating
Yes.
current or direct current.
Right,
Yes.
right.
No, yeah. And I had a youth pastor that tried to show us how the symbol, if you turn it upside down, it says something like, I don't even remember what, Satan or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And backmasking, if you listen to records in reverse, you'll hear satanic messages.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff.
Oh, man.
That had to be 25% of the sermons I heard in youth group were against rock music.
Is that right?
Yeah. And 25% against not holding hands with the opposite sex.
Right. Did we talk about, did you ever read Frank Peretti?
I know the name.
He wrote the books This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness.
I think I read the first one at least.
I think those were 80s, 90s or whatever. Yeah. And I liked them. I thought they were really interesting, but it's this story of the demonic influence on the town, and it's really a battle between angels and demons.
Sure.
And how the prayers of the saints in this town affect that battle, you know what I mean? And I thought it was just really entertaining and captivating, whatever. My sister read them and couldn't sleep for whatever. It was this, there's a devil or a demon behind every kind of deal, Yeah. I don't think we need that kind of fear.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Is that enough?
We nailed it.
Well, that's it. That's episode 27. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, don't hesitate to shoot me a note or shoot Danny a note. As we go along, Danny and I may tag team the podcast and interview some other people and talk about some other topics. And we hope you will join us. So, Happy New Year, and we will see you in February.